record. Recording June 7th. Okay, so we're going to start the conferences, so this will be real short. And then my question is, do you know how to calculate cost of goods sold and ending inventory using FIFO, LIFO, and
No.
average cost? Who said no? Michael said no.
Sorry, that was me. I forgot to mute myself.
All right, so put Lily down here. All right, so real quick, and then who uses both, just so you remember, the perpetual and periodic systems are required to take physical inventory. You have to, with the periodic system, you have to take physical inventory so you can calculate cost of goods sold. With the perpetual, the system is constantly tracking inventory, but you have to confirm that that's the right balance. So what's in the computer, you always have to check once or twice a year. Okay. All right. And then how do you take a physical inventory? And then the shipping point versus the destination, which we had on the last exam. So FOB shipping point, title transfers at the shipping point. Therefore, the buyer owns it while the materials, the inventory travels from the seller to the buyer. FOB destination, very rare in the United States, but it does happen. And that is title doesn't transfer till it gets to the destination, which is the buyer. Okay, so we want to make sure that if anyone has to pay the freight, it's going to be the seller if it's FOB destination. So why is that relevant? FOB shipping point, the buyer pays the freight bill. FOB destination, the seller pays the freight bill. Okay, and then knowing that what is a consigned goods, et cetera, and inventory management. And then the rest is all about, well, specific identification and first in, first out. And so the specific identification would be for high-end products, a yacht, jewelry, fancy car, and then you're not going to be working with this. Most of what you're working with is more large quantity inventory. All right. So, and we did the videos go over the bike shop example. And the only thing I want to close with is the terms FIFO, LIFO refer to the calculation of cost of goods sold. So you want to do that first. Okay. And so you want to make sure that when you say first in, first out, you're calculating cost of goods sold, and whatever is left is ending inventory. Okay. And so if we sold 1,000 units here, okay, out of 1,250, we're going to pull from this first cost layer first, second cost layer to get us to 400, and then we're going to dip into this third cost layer, only 100. Okay. And here's the FIFO, 500 from the first layer, 400 from the second layer. We're only going to use the third layer for 100. And that is the calculation of cost of goods sold using first in, first out. And whatever's left over is still in that third layer, 250 at 130 to get to 32,005. Okay. All right. And then LIFO, or weighted average, you do a weighted average, you add up all your costs, you have 145,000, you have 1,250, that's goods available, and you come up with a unit cost of 116, and then you use that to calculate cost of goods sold, and you also use that same unit cost to calculate ending inventory. So when I tell you to calculate cost of goods sold using average cost, don't give me the unit cost, give me the total cost. Okay. And finally, last in, first out, which is a very odd method, but it's very popular, so we use it. Again, same information, 145,500, 1,250 bikes. When we calculate cost of goods sold, do I have it here? yeah, right here. When I calculate cost of goods sold, I work at the most recent purchase and I work backwards. So June 25th, June 8th, June 2nd. So I'm going to pull everything from June 25th, everything from June 8th at that cost point. And then on June 2nd, I'm only going to take 250 out of the 500 at the $100 price point. And my cost of goods sold in this example is 120,500. What's left at this price point is 250, also at 100, and that's 25,000. So it's real important. The methods work for the methods are named for the calculation of cost of goods sold, not for ending inventory. Ending inventory is whatever's left over. All right. And then this slide, this is a great slide. It has identical information and it shows the impact on taxes and it shows the impact on net income. Okay. And then there's a lot of discussion on impact, which method is better during inflation, which method is better on deflation, and the impact on the balance sheet and net income. You want to make sure you understand that. But the calculation is a big part of this. All right. So I want to get started early this time because we went till 6:30 last time. So I'm going to stop the recording. Stop, and then we're going to